Ever wonder if it's really possible to change your life in a single night? I used to think change was slow, painfully slow, like watching paint dry on a wall that never truly feels finished. But then, one night, I decided to test that belief. Because what if everything we've been told about change is wrong? What if it doesn't take a year? What if it doesn't take a perfect plan, a vision board, a 5-year goal? What if it just takes one night, one decision to say, this ends now, and something new begins? That's what I did. It wasn't planned. There was no calendar reminder, no New Year's resolution, no motivational quote. It was just a regular night. One of those nights where everything feels loud and quiet at the same time. Your phone is glowing, but your soul feels dim. You're surrounded by people online, but feel completely alone inside. You know that feeling, right? That little voice that says, this can't be it. This isn't who I'm supposed to be. I listened to that voice. I stopped everything, and I told myself, tonight we change. Not tomorrow. Not when it's convenient. Not when it's easy. Right. Now the thing is, most people wait for a moment to change. A breakup, a breakdown, a rock bottom. But the truth is, you don't need to hit rock bottom to wake up. You just need to be done. Done with feeling like you're only existing. Done with promising yourself next time and never following through. Done with being addicted to distractions and allergic to discipline. And that night, I was done. So I asked myself one question. What would the best version of me do tonight? Not next year, not next week, not tomorrow morning. Tonight. And I knew the answer. Deep down, we all do. We just don't act on it. I knew I would stop scrolling. I knew I would shut down the noise. I knew I would pick up the journal, the book, the hard truths. I would sweat, I would write, I would reflect, I would cry if I had to. But I wouldn't quit. So I didn't. That night, I made a list. Not a long list, just a real one. The stuff I've been running from. The habits I said I'd build someday. The wounds I never dealt with because pretending was easier. And I attacked them, one by one. I didn't wait to feel ready. I didn't wait to feel motivated. I moved before I felt like moving. I took the first step before I believed I could finish, and somewhere in that night, something shifted. I didn't become perfect. I didn't suddenly have a six-pack or $1 million or peace in every area of life. But I did become honest. Honest about who I was. Honest about what I wanted. Honest about how far I'd let myself drift from that version of me I once believed in. And that honesty, it was brutal. But it was the beginning. I started to see the patterns. The late-night choices that became next-day regrets. The promises I kept breaking to myself because it was just one more time. The way I sabotaged my own growth by avoiding discomfort. That night, I didn't avoid it. I leaned into it. I did the hard things. I let the silence speak louder than the noise. I asked myself the questions I've been too scared to answer. Who am I really? Who am I pretending to be? What am I running from? What do I want? But keep telling myself I don't deserve. And maybe for the first time, I answered honestly. There's something powerful about facing yourself at 2 a.m. No filters, no distractions, no performative energy. Just you and you. And in that mirror moment, I realized my life wasn't stuck because of other people. It wasn't my circumstances. It wasn't the algorithm, the economy, or the past. It was me. And that meant it could also be me who changes it. So I kept going. I poured out every excuse I've ever used. Every time I said, I'll start Monday. Every time I said, I'm just too tired. Every time I said, it's not the right time. And I burned them all, metaphorically. Because if you give yourself an excuse, you're also giving yourself permission to stay the same. But I didn't want to stay the same. I wanted to remember what it felt like to believe again, to want something more than just survival, to look at a day and think, Let's go win this thing. Not coast, not complain, not survive. Win. And that kind of mindset, it doesn't come from comfort. It comes from war. A war you fight in the middle of the night when no one's watching. A war with your procrastination. A war with your self-doubt. A war with that voice in your head that says, you'll never change. You fight it. And you win by choosing differently. Just once. Then again. Then again. That night didn't solve everything, but it changed something far more important. It changed my standard. From try to do. From wish to work. From someday to now. And that shift, that inner shift, it echoed into every part of my life. The way I talk, the way I walk, the way I carry myself. Because I knew what I did when no one else was watching. I knew what I overcame. I knew what I was capable of now. And now, I want you to ask yourself the same question I did. What would the best version of you do tonight? Would they scroll until 3 a.m.? Would they binge another season? Would they put off their goals again and call it self-care? Or would they show up? Would they go for a walk? Would they write, think, plan, cry, lift, move, breathe, pray, read? Would they act like their life depends on it? Because maybe it does. You don't need a new year. You don't need a course. You don't need permission. You just need one night. One night to stop negotiating with your potential. One night to stop lying to yourself. One night to stop settling. You want to know if one night can change your life? It already has, because you're here, reading this, thinking differently, feeling something. This is your sign, this is your moment. So here's what I want you to do. Don't just agree with this. Don't just like it. Don't just get inspired. Do something. Tonight, anything. Write the plan, start the run, have the hard conversation, forgive yourself, dream again, believe again. Because sometimes, all it takes is one night to finally become you.